I found out my supportive husband has been sabotaging my birth control so I'd get pregnant and be forced to quit my high-paying job. I'm Victoria, 33, director of software engineering at a fintech startup in Austin. I make $240K a year plus equity. My husband Ryan is 35, works as a physical therapist making around $70K. We met 7 years ago, married for 4. When we got together, I was a mid-level developer, and he seemed genuinely proud of my ambition. We'd always agreed no kids until we were both ready. I had an IUD that was supposed to last 5 years, inserted 2 years ago. Beyond that, I kept backup pills in my nightstand for hormonal regulation. Ryan knew I was serious about waiting. My career was finally taking off, and I told him explicitly I needed at least 3 more years to solidify my position and invest my stock options. Last November, I started feeling off. Nauseous in the mornings, exhausted constantly. My period disappeared. I took a pregnancy test expecting nothing. It was positive. Then another one, also positive. I was in complete shock. IUDs are 99% effective. I made an emergency appointment with my gynecologist. She examined me and went very quiet. Then she asked me to sit down and explained that my IUD wasn't there anymore. It had been removed, recently based on the tissue response, maybe 6 to 8 weeks ago. I told her that was impossible. I hadn't had it removed. She pulled up the imaging to show me. The IUD was definitely gone, and someone had taken it out relatively neatly. Not expelled naturally, which would have caused more trauma. Removed deliberately. My brain went to dark places immediately. I asked if someone could remove another person's IUD. She said technically yes, if they knew what they were doing and the person was unconscious or not resisting. She looked deeply uncomfortable and asked if I was safe at home. I told her I needed to think. Got the pregnancy confirmed, 8 weeks along. I drove home in a daze, trying to make the timeline make sense. 8 weeks ago was late September. Ryan had surprised me with an overnight trip to a bed and breakfast in Fredericksburg for our anniversary. We'd had wine with dinner, more wine at the room. I'd gotten extremely drunk, more than usual. I barely remembered going to bed. The next morning I felt hungover and sore in a weird way, but I attributed it to the unfamiliar mattress. I got home and went straight to my nightstand. My birth control pill pack was there like always. I popped out a pill and looked at it closely under the light. It looked slightly different, wrong shade of white. I compared it to the information sheet in the box. The pills in my pack were bigger than they should be. I took one to a pharmacy and asked the pharmacist to look at it. He examined it and told me it was acetaminophen. Regular Tylenol, shaped and colored to roughly match my birth control pills. Someone had replaced an entire month's worth of my medication with fake pills. The only person with access to my medication was Ryan. I went back to the gynecologist that afternoon and asked her to test for Ambien or other sedatives from that weekend. Too much time had passed for a blood test, but she took my history seriously and documented everything. I didn't go home. I went to my best friend Simone's apartment and stayed there. Spent 3 days going through my phone, my laptop, anything I could access remotely. Found searches on Ryan's tablet from August. How to remove IUD safely. What happens if IUD is taken out? How long until pregnancy without birth control? Average salary physical therapist versus software engineer. Community property states division of assets. He'd been planning this for months. The anniversary trip wasn't romantic, it was tactical. I also found his Reddit account. He'd been active in some deeply toxic forums about male providers and traditional gender roles. Posts about how his wife made more money and it emasculated him. How women with high-powered careers neglected their families. How a baby would reset the balance in our relationship. Other men encouraging him, sharing their own stories of baby trapping their successful wives. The crisis was realizing I was pregnant with a child conceived through what essentially amounted to reproductive coercion. I had 8 weeks to decide what to do while processing that my husband had drugged me, performed a medical procedure on my body without consent, and systematically sabotaged my birth control. I filed for divorce first, then filed a police report. The DA said it was complicated legally, but took it seriously given the documentation. I terminated the pregnancy at 10 weeks. Ryan tried to fight the divorce, claimed I was being irrational and hormonal. My lawyer buried him with evidence. The criminal case went nowhere. Turns out reproductive coercion is barely addressed in Texas law, but the divorce gave me everything. His own Reddit posts became evidence of intentional harm. I kept the house, he paid my legal fees, and I got a restraining order. My company was incredibly supportive. I took a month off and came back stronger. Just got promoted to VP of engineering in December with a significant raise. Ryan lost his job after the arrest made local news. Last I heard, he's living with his parents and working at a clinic part-time. I'm in therapy processing the violation. Dating feels impossible right now, but I'm here, I'm free, and my body is my own again. The most dangerous person is the one who resents your success while sleeping next to you.